County Planning and Zoning Commission for October 9th, 2025. It is 9:42 in the morning. We'll begin with a roll call.
Commissioner Danzler. Commissioner Finter.
I'm here.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Lawrence. Commissioner Layton.
Here.
Chairman LeBlanc.
Here.
Vice Chair Mills.
Here.
Commissioner Rockwell.
Here.
Commissioner Toma.
Here.
Commissioner Whitney.
I'm here.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. This meeting has been noticed in accordance with Open Meeting Law, ARS 38431. Agendas are available within 24 hours of each meeting in the Maricopa County Planning and Development Office and are also available on the Planning and Development website 1 week prior to hearing at www.maricopa.gov/planning. The staff reports prepared for each agenda item shall become a part of the permanent record for each case. With respect to hearing process, cases will be considered in the order they appear on the agenda unless otherwise agreed to by the commission. For each case, the applicant will be given a set amount of time to present. Anyone wishing to speak on a particular case shall fill out a speaker's card in person. For in-person attendance, or raise your hand within GoToWebinar. The amount of time allowed for speaking shall be at the discretion of the chair. Staff will provide the chairman with the names of persons who have registered and noted desire to comment and those registered participants who have raised their hand. The chairman will call on each named participant one at a time. The chairman will conduct the hybrid in-person and virtual public hearing according to the bylaws and according to the rules established by the chairman regarding public comment. Votes will be done by roll call vote only. The chairman will verbally identify the specific members responsible for all motions and seconds. Okay. So we will move forward with approval of the September 11th minutes. Any changes or adjustments? Hearing none, we will accept the minutes and move on to the continuance agenda.
Good morning, acting chair and members of the commission. We have 3 items on the continuance agenda. Agenda items 2500 and SU 250023 for Pink Door Carefree Highway. The cases were on the September 11th. Continue to the applicant has requested an indefinite continuance on both cases. The application zone change with overlay from C3 to C2 and a special use permit for commercial outdoor RV storage in the C2 zoning district. Agenda item is SU 2500-1-1, which is also known as PON Point. The request for special use permit in the 143 zoning district for wireless communications systems. The applicant is continuance due to the applicant unable to meet posting requirement deadlines. Staff did send notification to the applicant and spoke with the applicant, and we received a response apologizing for not meeting the deadline dates. So staff will be working with the applicant putting that on a future hearing. For that case, indefinite continuance. At this time, I'm happy.
Any of the commissioners have any questions?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Rockwall. I couldn't understand anything with that feedback and echo.
Thank you, Commissioner. Give us just a minute.
Rachel, this is just a suggestion, but it seems like the audio coming from the webinar you can hear fine in auditorium. I'm wondering if we could have you guys in the auditorium call into the webinar and do the audio only through the webinar as an alternative.
Okay.
Where the feedback is really hard to follow.
Okay.
It does seem like there may be audio being picked up locally in the auditorium that's causing the feedback, because it's clearly
Right.
not coming from the webinar.
Okay. Let me coordinate with Mark and see if we can call in.
Good morning. What do they say? Plug and unplug or unplug and plug.
I lose everyone or just checking in?
We're still here.
They're just
Yeah.
trying to fix
Alrighty.
the audio.
Yeah, they're trying to fix the audio in the auditorium. There's a echoing issue, and so we're kind of on a hold till they can fix that because it's too hard to hear and understand what's being said with the echo.
Right, thank you. I was tracking that. It got quiet for so long. I thought maybe something else was going on.
Can they hear us? Nobody answered.
Yeah.
We can hear you without an echo.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo anymore either.
Great. All right, so we're okay to proceed? All right, so we will go back to the minutes. Do the commissioners have any comments or questions about the minutes? Hearing none, we'll accept the minutes and we'll go back. We'll repeat the continuance agenda for the benefit of the commissioners who had difficulty hearing as a result of the echo. So Rachel, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, we have 3 items on the continuance agenda. Agenda item 1 and 2 are cases Z25006 and SU2500023 for Pink Door Carefree Highway. The cases were listed on the September 11th Planning and Zoning Commission continued to the October 9th hearing. The applicant has requested an indefinite continuance on both cases. The request included a zone change with overlay from Rule 43 to C2 CUPD and a special use permit for commercial outdoor RV storage. Agenda item number 3 is SU 250029, which is a request for PHO Citrus Point, which is a special use permit for a wireless communication facility in the Rule 43 zoning district. Staff is recommending an indefinite continuance. The applicant was unable to meet required posting deadline dates. Staff did send multiple emails to the applicant and they had notified staff that they apologize for not meeting the required deadline dates and will be working with staff to get it scheduled on a future date. So all 3 items are currently on the continuance agenda for indefinite continuance. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioners, any comments or questions? Thank you. So no action is required. We'll move on to the consent agenda.
And commissioners, we have 1 item on the consent agenda, agenda item number 5, which is SU 250027, which is AnthemNet Verizon Wireless, which includes a request for a special use permit for a wireless communication facility. The site is located at the northeast corner of Pima Street and Palo Verde Road in the Hopeville, Buckeye area. The request includes a 2,500 square foot lease area. And the request is for a 75-foot high monopine, and the site is currently developed with a house of worship. The special use permit is including deviations from base zoning district standards in regards to setback, tower width, and the antenna array. Staff is recommending approval. subject to conditions A through L as outlined in paragraph 15. We're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments or questions on this case? Okay, we have no one in person wants to speak and no one online. So I'll call for a motion.
This is Warren Whitney. I'll move approval.
Is that Commissioner Rockwallach?
It was Whitney.
Oh, Whitney, okay. And do we have a second?
This is Commissioner Rockwallach, and I will second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Finter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Layton, Commissioner Layton,
Yes.
Chairman Lindblom,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milhaven,
Yes.
Commissioner Rockwallach,
Yeah.
Commissioner Toma, Commissioner Toma, Commissioner Whitney,
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion recommending approval of the consent agenda by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. We'll move to regular agenda. Item number 4 was moved to our regular agenda. So we'll proceed with that case.
Thank you, Acting Chair and members of the Commission. MCP 250005 is a military compatibility permit request on a rural 43 MAAMF zoned parcel in the Surprise area located at the northeast corner of Happy Valley Road and 199th Avenue. The site is located within the White Tank Grand Avenue area plan and is designated as military compatible. The request proposes a 100 megawatt battery energy facility, or BESS facility. The site is designed to have 168 standalone battery storage enclosures with a 0.6 acre substation. The parcel is bounded by residential lots on the north and east, but abuts Arizona state land on the south and west. The parcel is within the 65 LDN noise contour and the accident potential zone 2 of the Luke Air Force Auxiliary Airfield area. Luke Air Force Base has commented on the request and found the development uses and found that development uses outside of the APZ2 area to be compatible and consistent with the high noise or accident potential of a military airport and ancillary military facility. The battery enclosures are designed to be 100 feet from property boundaries and 500 feet from nearby residential structures and are entirely within the LDN 65 noise contour and not the APZ2 designated area. Specific design standards have been requested to be amended, such as setbacks, screening, and paving to allow for applicant flexibility in site design. Due to future residential restrictions in the MAAMF area, staff is supportive of MCP 250005, subject to conditions A through G. Staff does note of an updated condition D9, which clarifies POD approval timeline language. Thank you very much. At this time, I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? Thank you. We'll hear.
I just have, this is Chairman Lindblom. I have one question. It's in regards to the 500 and for staff on the 500-foot residential. How did that get added to a requirement? Was that driven by the supervisors, or is that a staff provision? Can you just help me understand how we got to 500 feet?
Acting Chair Milhaven and Chairman Lindblom, that actually came about due to other previous BESS facilities in regards to fire safety. We had a former planning and zoning commissioner that had some concerns with safety. And so upon coordination with planning and development and some of the fire districts, we came up with this standard to include for security and safety reasons. And that's why we have the 100-foot distance from property lines, and then 500 feet was included as part of these applications going forward. in order to have security and fire protection from existing residential uses.
Yeah, I was around during those discussions. Well, around when I know which commissioner we're talking about that had the issues, but did the 500 feet, was that something, as I don't remember voting on that, and or that we do vote on it? Was that something that staff just, it's an administrative requirement, or was that like voted by the supervisors?
Acting Chair Milhaven and Chairman Lindblom, it's a recommendation by planning staff. We are currently doing the zoning ordinance update. So we are working right now to include that as regulation to be approved by the Board of Supervisors. If that goes into effect and approved by the board in December, it'll be effective in January. But as
Okay.
of right now, we do coordinate with applicants on that language to verify that they're okay with the condition to address safety.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification, and I will chime in on comments on that ordinance requirement. I'm opposed to that being at 500 feet. I think that's excessive, but for cases that, for this particular case, with it being in the military area and the non-residential, like it's not an issue for me on this particular one, but it would be an issue for me on others. And so I'll get involved in that. I'm part of that task force, and I'll work with staff on trying to figure out if that's really justified or not. I don't think it is. I think the challenge with that is it creates an issue where best facilities will not be able to be put in places that we need them in the future within urbanized areas. And I do not see a reason around why it has to be as far as 500 feet. That's really far and limits any property, a lot of properties that potentially we will need these sites at. So anyway, thank you. I just needed a clear understanding where the 500 feet came from. So thank you for answering that. I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioners have comments or questions? Thank you. We'll hear from the applicant, Mr. Graff.
Thank you, Acting Chair Member Milhaven and Chairman Lindblom. My name is Ben Graff. I'm with the law firm of Quarles and Brady, 2 North Central Avenue here in Phoenix. I'm here representing National Renewable Solutions in regard to the Ranger Energy project that staff just so eloquently went over. I do want to start by thanking Andrew. He's been phenomenal to coordinate with throughout this entire time, incredibly responsive. I hate to put on the record that I think we got a few past 5 p.m. responses from him, which is above and beyond. So just wanted to say thank you. I'd like to defer to the acting chair. I can jump into our full presentation right now, but I do understand we were pulled from consent because Mr. Peterson, one of our neighbors, is here. If the chair prefers, we could hear from Mr. Peterson. I could address those issues, or I could do the full presentation and then we could hear from Mr. Peterson afterwards. I'm happy to follow either way.
Or would any of the commissioners like a full presentation? Right then, thank you. We'll
Okay,
hear from
yes, no,
public
let's hear from
comment.
Mr.
Thank you.
Peterson.
So we have public comment by Judy Ray and Pete Peterson. If you'd like to come to the microphone, please state your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pete Peterson. This is my wife, Judy Ray. We live right next door within what you're building. We have a major concern over that.
Could you please state your address, please?
I'm at 19712 West Happy Valley. We
Thank
own
you very
5
much.
acres that right there at 197th and Happy Valley. We own the whole corner. We're going to be extremely close to this. And after the fires and stuff we've already witnessed, and as also working at Tesla's power plant, I know what these batteries are going to do.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you just move the microphone a little bit closer? You're a
I'm
little bit
sorry.
hard to hear. I want to make sure the
I
commissioners online
got
can hear
hearing
you.
aids and it's echoing like crazy, so I can't even hear you. So when you speak up to me, if you would talk a little bit louder too. After working at Tesla plant, the battery plant in Nevada, I'm not totally safe with this going in right next door to us. What contingencies do they have when this thing goes up to be able to give us a place to live and stay for days on end? And the amount of water that they're putting on there, I can guarantee you will not be enough because they're not able to take it from the groundwater. to be able to suppress this fires that are going to wind up coming from this. These don't last just a few hours, they last days on end. And so we've already had a fire, 2 fires right here in Phoenix because of this. I understand the first one, if my information is correct, we lost 2 firemen to them. How many do we have to do to have go up and have civilians lose their lives over it? Oh, here, there.
The current one, or the most recent at Peoria and Glendale, that fire's was allowed to burn. I know they didn't have to evacuate, but they weren't right next door. We're very right adjacent to the property that they want to build on.
My understanding, we're with it and we're just outside of their 500 feet. And if a good wind comes by, that 500 feet is not going to stop it. It's just going to assist it.
If there was a fire, like he said, what's it going to do to our air quality? Where do we go while the fire is burning? Where do our animals go while the fire is burning? What will it do to our water supply? We and all of our neighbors are on well. What will it do to our property value? We moved out in the country for a reason, not to have a battery facility right next door to us.
There is more areas out there that could have been chosen that's west of us, plenty of it. There's power lines that run down now in front of the Ford Proving plant. Again, could go down Happy Valley another 2 miles and be out of the range of any kind of residential area. Yeah, my biggest concern is the amount of water. They're not going to have enough. If I understood it right from the last meeting, they cannot pull from the groundwater. They have to have tanks up on that place. And those tanks, and being that I'm also a retired pipe fitter from Local 469, they're not going to have enough water.
Another concern is we had a fire on the north side of our property
We wound
last
up
year.
having to put it out ourselves.
It was a brush fire. And although the Whitman Fire Department was within
A mile and a half.
a
of
mile
our
and a
house.
half of our house, they would not respond. We are at 197th and Happy Valley Road, and the fire response came from Loop 303 and Northern Avenue. It took them 45 minutes to respond. If that's the kind of response time we're going to have, if and when there's a fire, we don't have much hope there.
Thank you very much for coming down. Oh, did the second speaker, ma'am, if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind stating your name and address as well.
I'm sorry, Judy Ray. The address is the same at 19712 West Happy Valley Road in Whitman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Graff, would you like to respond?
Yes, thank you. And thank you to Mr. Peterson and Ms. Roy, who are also in attendance at our neighborhood meeting, and we got to meet them at that time as well. If possible, if the slide deck could be moved to slide 6 just to start. That's wonderful. Thank you. So with the site, actually just the one I think right before it. Thanks. With the site at 199th Avenue and Happy Valley Road, you can see that our parcel is not a perfect square, and Mr. Peterson's piece is that out parcel adjacent to us. So in our site design, safety standards, I am very comfortable stating clearly that Mr. Peterson's property was of the utmost importance in terms of our design from boundaries and safeties. While today's certainly not the day to debate the 500-foot requirement, on this specific case, we were happy to oblige by that 500 feet. So I've been before this commission numerous times. This has been a real subject of interest with battery energy storage. We've had some cases where it made sense for that 500 feet to be reduced. But because this is within the military compatibility zone, the Luke Air Force Base zones, we were able to accommodate that 500 feet, and that is now required in stipulation. So in most cases, our site has gone above and beyond a lot of the battery energy storage, and we are significantly far away. And let me just clarify what that means. That means that no battery, not property line, but no battery is closer than 500 feet to Mr. Peterson's home. It's not from boundary to boundary. It's a very significant distance. So that's a really important point. If we could go to slide 14, just real quickly, please. Thank you. I appreciate the help with the slides. I know this one's a little bit difficult to read, but there is a curved line on this site that we've entered into the record. And you can see number 3 is Mr. Peterson's home on this exhibit. Again, you can see Mr. Peterson's property has never been an afterthought. We've looked at this very, very consistently in terms of how we can make this site very compatible. And 14 is our exhibit that shows the evidence that we are just beyond 500 feet from Mr. Peterson's home. If you wouldn't mind going back to slide 9, I think the most unique aspect, this is the first battery energy storage case I've presented to the commission that was within the military compatibility area, the Luke Air Force Base zone. I've passed cases before this commission that were directly adjacent to residential within regular rural facilities. However, on this case, we are literally within the Air Force Base contours. We are partially within the accident potential zone, literally meaning areas where plane craft can crash during exercises. And then we are, so is Mr. Peterson, within the noise contour. So what does this all mean? If you could move to the next slide, please. It means that while, of course, Mr. Peterson's home is grandfathered, and of course, Mr. Peterson has every right to continue to live and enjoy his property, this area no longer allows residential development. In essence, it's probably one of the more perfect sites we've found for battery energy storage because new residential cannot be brought into this area. And by utilizing and coordinating with Luke Air Force Base, which has issued a letter of full support, we are ensuring that we don't have new neighbors near this area. So that combined with the 500 feet, it truly makes this a very compatible use for Mr. Peterson's site. I would also add, if we could jump to slide number 28, we appreciate the questions on fire. No battery energy storage case should go through this process without addressing fire and fire safety. One good point of news, and this may not have been confirmed when we met with you before, Mr. Peterson and Ms. Joy, but we have successfully finished the annexation process for the AFMA to include this territory. So we've been meeting with Chief Olmstead, Deputy Chief Olmstead from the Arizona Fire and Medical Authority. They have now annexed this land into the AFMA service territory, which means AFMA is directly responsible for any response on this site. We've also provided on slide, if you could move to slide 29, please. We've provided a letter of support from the AFMA. This is huge. I put next to the Board of Supervisors support and the commission support and staff support equally that part of our process must be getting support from the fire authority. Mr. Peterson's correct, a much outdated site called the McMeekin site in 2019. Luckily, there were no deaths, but there were very severely injured firefighters. Luckily, we've seen as the technology has improved, this recent Peoria fire, 0 injuries, 0 first responder injuries, no evacuation for anyone around, and the fire burned out on its own. We are seeing that fires can still occur, but the safety measures in place and the response and training of folks like Chief Olmstead and the AFMA are proving that the benefit we get from ensuring a reliable energy grid far outweigh the risks. And I wouldn't make that argument in 2019, because if we're injuring firefighters, we're doing something wrong. Today, we're not. And we've seen a lot of improvements on that. Last point, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. I just wanted to make sure I covered all of Ms. Roy's and Mr. Peterson's comments. This is an incredibly low water use. We do not need to pull from or interact with groundwater. On-site water tanks are provided and filled as an on-needed basis. Most of these fires, if they do occur, are put out with a non-water component. So that's also a benefit. And these are very low water use. So we're not pulling from the groundwater anyway. So I did want to put that on the record, but be happy to answer any questions. And we appreciate the support from county staff, from Luke Air Force Base, and from the chief of the AFMA.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments or questions?
This is Commissioner Toma. I have a question just for my understanding. If there is a fire, one of the concerns that the neighbor brought up was that it could pollute the groundwater, but I assume there's cleanup procedures for that, where they're removing any chemicals or anything like that. But could you just talk to that for a minute, please?
I'd be happy to. Acting Chair Member Milhaven, Chairman Lindblom, and Commissioner Toma. And I know this is your district, Commissioner Toma, so I appreciate the question. First of all, in a fire, and I know you didn't quite ask this, but it could increase the level of your concern if it wasn't answered appropriately. One of the first things that we work on is these things not setting on fire, of course, the testing, all the safety precautions. If a fire occurs, the next most important item is that it doesn't propagate to nearby batteries. So this site is set up with all of the federal standards so that it won't jump to other batteries and increase the issue. When a battery is on fire, it does not leak into the ground soil or into the groundwater. The mechanism would hold anything like that. And then in terms of the smoke that comes from these, the plume studies that are completed for these uses show that a 500-foot distance is way beyond. In fact, to Chairman Lindblom's comment, the federal standard for battery energy storage is 100 feet, not 500 feet. So we well exceed that. But to, again, directly answer the question, Commissioner Toma, there is no impact on groundwater or ground pollution.
Thank you.
Acting Chair Milhaven, this is Commissioner Rockwallick. I have a follow-up question.
Proceed. Yes, please.
Mr. Graff, following up on Commissioner Toma's question about chemicals and runoff, and I appreciate the explanation that the battery will keep its, what's inside of it, even on fire, and that there are federal standards to ensure that it doesn't spread. But to piggyback on Commissioner Toma's question, you mentioned that typically what's used to put these out are non-water mechanisms. And I think that may be where the concern comes from as far as
Sure.
any chemical leaching into the groundwater. Could you please explain a little bit more about the mechanisms used to put out these types of fires, if not water?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question, Acting Chair Milhaven, Chair Lindblom, and Commissioner Wallach. Basically the chemical compound that's used as a non-water, most importantly, non-conductive substance, so that you're not adding to an energy or electrical fire, is fairly inert. And that would be a situation where there could be some topsoil cleanup required by both local county EPA and federal EPA. There would be immediate testing afterwards, and that soil top would be removed if there's any indication that that was a pollutant afterwards. So we're very cautious of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? All right, Mr. Ray and Mr. Peterson and Ms. Ray, we're all certainly sympathetic to the fact that you live in a rural. We're very I think we're all sympathetic to the fact that you live in a rural part of our community. But this also sounds like this project has addressed the fire and water concerns. And as Commissioner Lindblom pointed out, 500 feet is more than is usually required. And by my calculations, it's more than a football field and a half away from your home. So while we regret that it may change the complexion of your neighborhood, at least in my opinion, I think that this seems to be an appropriate use. So since there are no other public comment and no other comments or questions from commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Commissioner, Acting Chair, Commissioner Millhaven, I
Yes.
do have a comment. I was just waiting
Oh, thank you. Please.
for the applicant to sit down, but and I will address some of those resident concerns as well. These best facilities, there's been very robust debates on our commission about these and the safety, and part of that is because prior commissioner, oh my gosh, why did I just blank his name? A good friend of mine. Anyway, no, his nephew was one of the firefighters that died in one of these best facilities, and so you can bet that we've had a lot of conversations, and that many of us on this commission have spent time over the year that have been on this for years looking into really the health and safety of them. And that's why I can speak with a little more confidence, because I've spent quite a bit of time with the utilities, with the firefighters, and with the community talking about these facilities. What I will say is the facilities built today versus the facilities that were built when those firefighters lost their lives are different. The designs are different. The utilities, the firefighters, those in the industry of the best industry have been involved in changing designs of these facilities and how they're built, where they can be contained quickly and fires can be put out. And to this point, there was a best battery facility that caught on fire this month on October 1st in Glendale, and there was no health and safety issues that arose from it. The fire was able to be put out. It did not spread beyond the pod in which it was contained. Like they're now designed much differently, and just one of the battery areas caught on fire and was able to be put out. And so I do echo your thoughts, Acting Chair Millhaven. We are very thoughtful of what this does to the impact of the neighbors. Those that are here today, we thank you for coming. But we also spend a lot of time in working with everyone, and staff does, to make sure these projects are safe. And because of those design standards, that's why I believe a 500-foot should not be the standard, but may be appropriate in some scenarios. Certainly in this particular one, my the agreements on setbacks and the facility is good, and I'm totally supportive of it. But I did want to just make those comments that there's a lot of history of working on these types of projects, and there's been a lot of progression in a really positive way on best facilities, with a lot of when there was those tragic deaths, there was a lot of effort and continues to be effort on fire and safety. And the fact that the fire authority having jurisdiction here is supportive of this goes a long way as well. So just wanted to add all those thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Lindblom. Any other commissioners with comments? All right. In that case, I will entertain a motion. Hello. All right, I will move approval of item number 4, MCP 250005, Ranger Energy as presented and including the change presented in the memo dated October 9th.
This is Chairman Limblom, I'll second.
Condition D, 9. I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry to cut you off. And I did hear your full motion, and this is Chairman Limblom. I second that.
All right, so we have a motion by Vice Chair Milhaven and a second by Chair Lindblom, and we'll have a roll call.
Commissioner Finter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Layton,
Yes.
Chairman Lindblom,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milhaven,
Yes.
Commissioner Rock-Wallick,
Yes.
Commissioner Toma, Commissioner Toma, Commissioner Whitney,
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion recommending approval by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you very much. Any other business?
No other business. Thank you.
All right, then we are adjourned. Thank you.